We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. Not all of us, however. Some of us are still trying to bring our own people down. Some of us are still trying to downtrot our own community. Some of us, and by us, I don't mean anybody watching this stream right now, the community that we are a part of is actively trying to progress the community. And today's discussion will be the $10 billion grant given to black women, the best of us, black women, the women who are ultimately trying to fight harder to curve on an upward motion the 6-hour dollar circulation in the black community. $10 billion we're going to be discussing today. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you back to The Honest Truth Seekers Live podcast. Let's make sure we're coming in loud and clear. Forgive me for the delay. I know I don't stream as often as a lot of you would like. However, I do have some more content that is getting ready to come out. That's all I'm going to say there. I don't want to keep on telling y'all there's new content without dropping the content. You're going to be like, shut up, drop the content. We're tired of you. We're tired of hearing you talk about it. Just drop it. All right. Thank you so much. It's so good to have you in here. Let's read out some of our loyal members. Samuel Spencer in the building. Yoke Four Crows in the building. Organic Black early in the building. AP Bunny in the building. AP, I hope I'm saying your name right. I just assume it's Bunny. I know you want to mess with me. My fellow Negroid is in the building. Jedi Mike, good to see you in here, boss man, in the building. Y'all in these usernames, man. Y'all's usernames are hilarity. Y'all are hilarious, man. Y'all are honestly just, I love just talking with y'all. Y'all are hilarious. Black Light Revelations in the building. I did a whole video on this topic of THT is taking call-ins. I would love to get in on this discussion and to drop some actual red pills, keyword, factual red pills. Yeah, we'll open up the panel. Got a lot to say before we do open up the panel, Blacklight, so you might wait for a little bit. However, we will open up the panel. Taylor Beauty, so good to see you in here. What up, Truth Seekers? Hit the like button on your way in. Thank you so much. Shout out to the mods, everybody that holds things down on the online live stream, as well as the offline channel comment section. I do appreciate y'all so much. All Things Nat Gene. Hey, y'all. Hello, Nat Gene. Good to see you in here again. I'm trying to get the right angle so my chin doesn't look fat, right? I'm trying to work the camera. Beijik. Good to see you in here again, darling. Good to see you in here again. Aja Wagwan, everyone. Wagwan. I like it. I've entered you, and everybody who is a member and a donator and a contributor has been entered in the drawing. We have another live stream going down. Uppity Unicorns live stream is happening at the same time. Be sure that you stop through, show Uppity Unicorn some love. She's talking about the bougie black woman right now, and it's a great stream. And Loren's on the panel right now. There's a lot of good stuff going on. It's just a great stream. I advise you to check it out at some point or another. I'm in no competition with any of our fellow content creators. We all support each other. You're not going to want to miss tonight's stream. Oh boy, it's going to be a classic. I've done a lot of research since we took a long break. I've done a lot of research on this, and this is mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. So why did I want to talk about this today? Well, I'm a little late on this topic. A lot of people have covered this topic already. And I wanted to also let you know that the one and only O'Shea Duke Jackson recently talked about this topic. And I might add that he was in the discussion for the most part on our side, right? Holding black men accountable for their failures, and in this case, for their entrepreneurial failures. I could tell you this, that most businesses that I know that are black owned are by women. Most, I can confidently say. So the numbers, the statistics, everything you'll hear tonight is factual. It's based off of what I've seen as well as what I've read online, right? A lot of the men in the manosphere, a lot of the black men in the black manosphere particularly, will get on to black women for wanting to do nail businesses, having a nail salon. The average at best girl was a six-figure earner, by the way. She was an entrepreneur, a six-figure earner. Yeah, the woman who was disrespected on international mainstream news at this point, we'll just call YouTube international mainstream news since Kevin Samuels is reaching 1 million subscribers. Six-figure earner, owned her own business. She is the black woman who would be eligible to receive the $10 billion grant, right? She is the very best of us. Even she puts most of the men that are in that chat room to shame. And black men wonder why Other races of men choose to support the black woman. You see, what's interesting about this is this: the black men will tell you that the white men don't want to marry you. The white men don't want to. Other races of men don't care about you. The number's this. The number's that. The number's this. $10 billion. That's the only number I want to say to you, black man. $10 billion is just how much the white man believes in the black woman. Now, Shea Duke Jackson said something that was particularly interesting about this. He said that, well, you know what? Black men should honestly be in the position to where we could say, you know what? Good for your $10 billion, Goldman Sachs, but we got it from here. We'll take it over. After all, you want to know all the black men who could come together and form that $10 billion valuation really quickly? LeBron James, Denzel Washington. Let's see, who else is a filthy rich black man? I don't know. Whatever other quarterbacks are black that could do this, or street ball basketball players. We could pick 10. They could work up $1 billion. Welcome everybody. We're gonna get started in 1 second. The magnificent one in the building. Stay tuned. Oh yeah, definitely. Jay-Z definitely. Now I will say Jay-Z and Beyonce, they definitely do help a lot of people. I think they're buying DMX's masters and giving them to his children so they can survive. DMX had a lot of children apparently. They do some things as far as bailing out a lot of the Negroes out of jail. And they've done a couple of things, but yeah, Jay-Z could single-handedly do this alone, right? But I agree with you, Jedi Mike, 1000%. As always, JoJo One, good to see you in the building. Getting ready to start. Keenan, entertainer, she says. Oh, there you go. Kanye West, Byron Allen, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, Jay-Z. There's $1 billion. But that'll never happen, and we know that'll never happen. Oh, today's going to be a good one, y'all. Your wait will not be in vain. Let us start. What is Goldman Sachs? Goldman Sachs is an investment company. They are not just an investment company, but they do a lot of different things. They buy businesses, they sell them for more, they invest in businesses, they flip things, they do mortgage. They're huge. They do everything. They're all across the world. Goldman Sachs recently announced a $10 billion investment into black women's business. We've talked about the white man wanting better for the black community on many streams in the past. White people are tired of driving through dilapidated areas. They're tired of driving through the ghettos, the hoods. They're tired of seeing disparaged black people and having, and I quote, their land destroyed by lack of progression and resources. Thus, the $10 billion initiative to start raising the curve of the black dollar, and black men are upset. I can't tell you how many videos I've seen with black men in the Manosphere upset that the white man is, and I quote, dividing and furthering dividing the black men and the black women with this $10 billion. I literally have read comments, hundreds of comments of black men upset about this. Meanwhile, of course, they offer nothing in any kind of comparable faction or factor or fashion. Now, why would black men be upset that their women are now being backed by men in better positions that they are? I'm not upset about this. I'm very happy about this. Well, I guess I answered my own question right there, right? So I wonder, can your women be really weaponized against you for simply doing better in life? Right? Like I said, I've seen a video titled Goldman Sachs investing in black women and furthering dividing the black community. This is actually the name of this video title I saw. I'm not going to pull it up because I don't want to give the guy any clout. A lot of people are starting to watch these streams. This was an actual title in a video. I said, wow, this is crazy. You literally titled that. This is like getting upset at a kid for getting a full ride scholarship just because they were better than you and had the opportunity to go to a higher level university than you were offered. Now, obviously, this isn't an exact comparison, but you get the point, right? The reason that kid, that she got the full ride scholarship was because she showed more promise in her talents that could offer themselves and lend themselves well to the investment of the university, right? We spoke about this a little bit on the last stream, and Loren talked about it a bit, but Goldman Sachs wouldn't just get a large lump sum of $10 billion and just throw it for the simple fact of being progressively, socially correct. They're not going to just throw $10 billion away just because Black Lives Matter is the big movement right now. Might I also add to you that the woman that runs Black Lives Matter just recently bought 4 houses. She is a multi-millionaire. Black people and black men are mad at her However, I see nothing wrong with it. She saw a problem, made a good amount of money, and brought conscious awareness to a lot of the black fellow Negroes that are getting murdered, quote unquote, in the street by police officers of another race. But black men aren't looking at that as far as the benefits that it offers, but rather that a black woman was able to profit off of said movement. In my opinion, she's smart. I heard O'Shea Duke Jackson talking about this very subject once again. I thought it was a very interesting metaphor that he used to describe this situation. We'll have videos on this later. You're not going to want to miss these videos we have. If you're an NBA, NFL, or other sports team, the players are the ones that will be responsible in playing on the field for the championships. Now, the coaches we've talked about beforehand do have a large amount of responsibility for the success of the players. However, there's only so much a coach can do. But if you have good coaches and good players, you win the team, right? There's a reason why LeBron, Jordan, and Kobe have the most championship rings. It is because they consistently showed progress, work ethic, and a dedication to perfecting their craft. It is no coincidence that black women are more educated, driven, and have higher entrepreneurial drive than black men, and in turn have received a $10 billion grant. This is the natural progression of the way that things work in socioeconomic America. Those who show the most potential are the ones that are the most heavily invested in. Think of it like this. If you want to solve $1 million problem, or if you want to make $1 million, solve $1 million problem. Well, black women are starting to solve their $1 billion problems that they have, which is the lack of infrastructure that black men have failed to provide for them. So now they're creating their jobs. And guess what? They've seen the trends. Goldman Sachs has seen the trends. Other investment bankers have seen the trends and said, you know what? Since they're solving their problem, we're going to help them solve their problem even further and enriching ourselves in the back end. Just like that college university giving a full ride scholarship, bringing a lot of attention and advertising and revenue dollars and selling tickets in the sports arena because they have the best players. Well, still the best players do get a benefit out of that. They get a great free education. They probably get paid by the boosters. They get international recognition to build their own brand once they do graduate or go to the next level of professional athletes. It's a win-win situation. Back to the NBA, NFL, whatever. When a championship team, when a team wins a championship, whether that be for any city, Denver, Dallas, whatever it might be, the entire city rejoices and parties for a while, right? Money and resources flow throughout the state for a certain period of time after winning said championship. Not to mention, winning gives you better coaches, personal trainers, and more resources since the winning team now has the ability to walk in a much larger lane. You win the championship, you get paid more, you get bonuses. Everything gets better once you win. Black women are winning right now. The Loving Home says, I'm opening my business soon. Can't wait. I can't wait for you. You're going to trip out at the video that we're going to show here in a little bit. I hope I don't get copyright struck while I'm live on the air, but I could not show you all this video. This video is absolutely insane. It has to do with two Africans who are both wealthy in the Democratic Republic of Congo. I'm not going to explain too much because the video is just, it's wild. I'm not going to explain too much, but just wait until you see it. ASC says, yeah, you're live. You caught us, ASC. You caught us. I'm glad to have you in here. Organic Black says, but aren't they those same ones shaming black women for having a $5 net worth? Right. They're the same ones saying black women have a $5 cumulative net worth. We've talked about this before. Just this sweatshirt alone is $20 or $25. It's impossible to have a $5 net worth, but this shows the mind of the black manosphere. Magnificent when it's demeaning black women, of course. Yeah, of course, you know. Of course. Lemonade said, yes, I made it. Yes. I'm glad you saw it, Lemonade. You are entered in the drawing as well. You are entered. Magnificent One says, audio only, they will copyright. Yeah. You know, they might. They probably might. I will say this. I really want to show because it's so necessary to the point of this video. You know, I'll see. I'm willing to take the risk at this point. If we have to end up battling it out, we'll battle it out again. I'm not really too concerned about it, to be honest with you. But, you know, if the channel goes down, you know why, right? This is the nature of the channel, guys, though. You know, they shouldn't copyright strike me for this. But if they do, you know why. I'm prepared for the risks. Let's continue. Let's continue. Glad to have you all in the building. Welcome, everybody. That quote that I was telling you about with that black man that had a title for his video said this: Kevin Samuels said it. Black women are weaponized against black people, and this time by Goldman Sachs. You know what? I'll show you the video just because you think I'm sure you'll think I'm lying. Let me just show you, right? Let me just show you the video. Truth, you're making this up. You're making this up. Nobody, I didn't see a video like that. All right. Let me show you real quick. Here it is. Kevin Samuels said it. Black women are weaponized against black people, and this time by Goldman Sachs. I don't know what this guy's talking about underneath it. He says, why I love black women. I don't know what he's talking about. We'll just leave him there. He loves black women. Right? Not Devin Samuels. Not Devin Samuels. Yeah, Lemonade, there is a backup channel. Go to the community tab and you can look it up. It's called Always Honest. There's nothing on there right now. But if the worst happens, we'll definitely go to the backup channel. Why are they allowing black women to be weaponized against them is the question. I mean, this is, you know how these guys think or don't think. I don't know. It doesn't even make sense. Something that's going to benefit the community, they're saying as weaponization against them. Okay. All right, then. Let us continue. Here's a few reasons why the sluggish failure to do well black men in our community who hold us back are upset. Number one, it shows that black men, most of the black men in the black community, are obsolete. I think the biggest problem that black men are having with Goldman Sachs investing into black women is that it puts them to shame for what they are supposed to be doing for their own black women, for their own women, for the women that look like them. It shames them to their masculine core. It feminizes him as a man and mentally puts him in a child's place that he continuously operates in, that hamster wheel effect. It essentially opens up their eyes to the lack of power that they have as a community, or as they like to say, communita, whatever the hell that means. It shows them that by and large, they are not movers and shakers in the community. Number two, it shows black men that their women have value, and particularly more value than they currently offer, which is why they didn't get a $10 billion investment. Before we get into the article I'm about to present to you, I want to ask black men a question. Why do you think your women, and I do say this word very loosely, are building businesses at an unprecedented rate? Could it be that because 33 to 40% of your fellow Negroid brethren are convicted felons? That there was no stable environment for them to grow up in? And so upon reaching ages of 19, 20, 20, 21, 22, 23, whatever it might be, and working in various aspects and sections of corporate America and having to do a job, this kind of job and this kind of job, they got fed up. And they said, you know what, we're going to start to create for ourselves. Because obviously the men aren't going to create a job for us. Obviously our men are going to do something for us, like the white man has, like the Latino man has, like the Asian man has, and build businesses for their family. Obviously, they're not going to do that. So we're going to start our own businesses. Could it be? Perhaps. I don't know. What do I know, right? I'm just a panderer. Yeah. Maybe the $10 billion is pandering as well. Yeah. Right. Keep coddling your failures. Inc.com states this. Let's bring up this article. Inc.com wrote a brilliant article on why minority women are taking over entrepreneurial businesses. This article is talking about a woman who's in LA. Might I add, when I was in Los Angeles, I did not see one black-owned business that was owned by males. Every business that I saw when I was in LA was owned by black females. Just want to say that. Why minority women now control nearly half of all women-run businesses? Do you think minority men control half of all men-run businesses? No. Last year, Vandra Caldwell's friend was visiting LA from their native Omaha and snapped Caldwell a picture of rolled ice cream rolls in an ice cream placed vertically in a cup, finished off with sweet toppings. Helm's response, let's bring this to town. No, I'm serious. They invested $10,000 of their savings and got a $30,000 loan in launching Mixon's Rolled Ice Cream in downtown Omaha. By the end of October, the business generated $100,000 in sales. Not even 3 months. Or is it 3 months? I can't count. Somebody do the math for me. They have $1 million operation now. All right. Nearly 63% of women who finance their business, they did it from their own savings. This is why Goldman Sachs is deciding to put the money up, because they're seeing that the women are willing to put the money up for themselves to enrich and better themselves, their families, and their communities. And so they see potential progression, just like in that D1 high school potential athlete. They're going to scoop them up and make sure that they get the training and the resources needed to continue to thrive. Caldwell, a 25-year-old biracial single mother with 3 kids. Oh, wow. A single mother. Oh, wow. A single mother. Damaged goods in the Black Manosphere's eyes, right? Previously worked at a news station and a child care learning center. She sees her business as a means to provide a better life for her kids, even if it forces her to juggle competing demands. One vivid memory for Caldwell is signing the loan straight before going into labor the next day. All right? This woman signed a loan for $30,000 and then went into labor to have her child the next day. This is how dedicated minority women are to ensuring their success. Now, it says minority women. This is mostly Black women they're talking about. But for the sake of political correctness, and I'll show you the graph of why it's mostly Black women, they have to say minority in this case. They can't just say Black women all outright, because a lot of people get offended by that. But I will encourage you, Google Black women business, and you will see hundreds of thousands of articles supporting what I'm saying. How nuts is that? Signed a $30,000 loan, had her baby the next day. Back against the wall. Her parents would help take care of the kids, but that meant she couldn't see her children for more than a few days at a time and would often turn to her business partner for a shoulder to cry on. And this too, Caldwell isn't alone. Spending time away from family is one of the biggest sacrifices female founders cited in our survey. Why do they have to spend time away from the family, you ask? Well, isn't it obvious? The face of female entrepreneurship is becoming a lot less white. Minority women control 44% of women-owned businesses in the United States, up 20% in 1997 or from 1997. According to the census data and projections by the research firm, I can't even read that right now, Womenable, even though there's this notion that we don't exist, says the founder, their numbers are going up, right? Even so, minority women are starting businesses at a much faster rate than their white counterparts. Oh, very interesting. While the number of white women-owned businesses grew 40% from 1997 to 2016, those owned by Black and Hispanic women showed much higher growth rates at 518% and 452% respectively, according to the analyzed data. Here's this chart I was telling you about. It shows, and here's the Black women in the blue, and the white women are the thin bar line right here, okay? As of 2016, the amount of Black women-owned businesses is almost at the amount of white-owned women businesses. This is not the case for Black men, okay? This was the case for Black men, then an article saying Black men business ownership on a substantial rise would have been the first article that I've seen, but it wasn't that. When they type in Black entrepreneurship rising, it's mostly Black women that pop up. Well, truth is because they're pandering to the social media ages and things of that nature. Yeah, okay, $10 billion. Right? I want you to see, look, this is 1997 here. At 1 million, white-owned female businesses were almost at 5 million or halfway. In a span of 20 years, there's been an increase of 4 million Black female-owned businesses. Meanwhile, about 2 million white-owned businesses from females. Okay? One of the biggest hurdles, and we're almost done with this before we move on to the more interesting parts, but we have to say this now. This is important information. One of the biggest hurdles women, particularly minority women, continue to face is access to capital, says Margaret Dorfman, CEO of U.S. Women's Chamber of Commerce. Right? And we'll kind of keep this there. So Black women are doing better. And because of it, they're now being rewarded for their hard work. All right. Let's read some of those comments here, and then we will continue on. Lovey X says, I'm late, but I'm here. You're here, Lovey. Don't worry about it. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. Alexander Brand says Goldman Sachs going investments to black women. What's wrong with that? Oh, it reminds black men of how they failed to be better. Absolutely. That's all that's wrong with it. Lemonade says, they mean black women when they say minority women. Absolutely. That's what they meant. Bajik says a lot of black women are prepared to start small and build. Absolutely. Organic Black says, I wonder what race her kid's father is. Well, if we look at the numbers, right? Hello, Nichols Pickles. I should create a panda bear emoji for the members. I have 2 emoji spots left. I definitely do. Bajik says 43 watching, 20 likes. Like. Absolutely. Please like, everyone. Please like. Nichols Pickle says, I guess we're supposed to sit on our arses and wait on them. Well, that's what they would like for you to do. But don't wait too long, because then you'll be a gold digger, right? Then you'll be a hypergamous woman. Women, this is what they say. Women are hypergamous. They always go after the best male. Yeah, that's what they're supposed to do, all right? Because when they chase the bums, you get upset at them for that too. Lordy. Let's think about this a bit deeper. Most of the opulence from black males is either derived from sports, music, or some form of entertainment, right? To be completely honest, we've seen little to no businesses started from the majority of successful athletes and entertainers. Nipsey Hussle is regarded as a legend because he's one of the few artists, rappers, musicians who truly took his earnings, reinvested it back into the community of Slauson, California, and to this day is continuing his legacy with employing minorities or black people, right? He's a legend in this regard. I spoke about this, about the mob and doing criminal activities and things of that nature because they still wanted to progress their community. But this holds true even to rappers and black men in criminal environments, is that I would have much less of a problem if you chose to actually do wrong in order to improve the community to some extent. And I'm not talking about, and I'm not advocating for harming anybody, right? I'm simply speaking of maybe white collar crimes in essence to propel the black community forward. Okay. But let's dig even deeper. I want to show an example of why black women have gotten the multi-billion-dollar investment. Okay. In order to do this, I need to show you a video that comes straight from the motherland. I will show you 2 wealthy, prominent Africans and just how differently they compose themselves in their day-to-day activities. The first one is going to be a black male. Keep in mind, they are both from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Okay. The first one will be a black male. The second one will be a black female. And let's just see if we can notice a discrepancy here. All right. Who knows? Maybe I'm crazy, right? But well, let's just see. Let's make sure to turn this playback speed up. All right. Here's to hoping that we don't get banned, but if we do, it was worth it while we had it, ladies and gentlemen. Share audio. Here we go. Life of the super rich. I want you to watch this clip really quickly.
For the local fishermen, it's also vital to their livelihood. They recognize the singer immediately.
They say they're my brothers. I'll give them something. Give them $50.
All right. So this guy's a singer, right? He's a singer. He's done well for himself. He was riding his jet ski in the DRC, and pretty much the people were like, "Hey, help us out. Give us some money," right? Oh, am I lagging a little bit? Looks like your connection is dropping a bit. Anyways, I hope you can still hear it okay. If you can't hear it okay, let me know. We'll try and watch this. All Things Nadine says, I've seen this. Yeah, this is crazy, right? So he gave them $50, right? He gave them like a month's pay. He felt bad for him, gave him a month's pay. Okay. Now, I want to show you what a black woman did when she was given the chance to help her community out. Okay. That was a black man. Now let's watch a black woman.
Patricia Zolantima wants to give women better employment opportunities. After completing her studies, she returned to Congo and started this cab service with the help of investors. Today, she pays it forward and supports other female entrepreneurs.
We want to have more millionaires. Congo has more than 80 million residents.
So let me stop this there. The first word out of her mouth was, we want to have more millionaires. This woman is community oriented, right? She wants there to be more millionaires. Let me rewind this really quickly because I see we're lagging, and I'll try and play it again.
For this.
Patricia Zolantima wants to give women better employment opportunities. After completing her studies, she returned to Congo and started this cab service with the help of investors.
So she completed her studies abroad. She got investments abroad, returned back to her community, and started to invest in her community. She started a business trying to help women out. Women, okay, because women have been severely disenfranchised in the African continent, apparently. I'm not too versed on this, so I'm not going to say too much, okay? But this woman decided to build a business and has, instead of giving a man a fish, taught the man or woman how to fish in this situation, right? This is exactly why Black women are getting the $10 billion investment. Is because Black women are naturally far more community oriented by and large in comparison to their Black male counterparts. Okay. This is the rule of thumb in general. They have what's known as the sisterhood, right? Or women always kind of look out for each other's backs, or girl, right? What it might be. Women are naturally closer than men are. Okay. So even in this situation, I know there's probably Black male business entrepreneurs in the Democratic Republic of Congo. I know that there probably are. I'm just using this as an example, okay, as to why the women have gotten the investments. Very stark difference in the way both of these entrepreneurs are operating and working. We could literally end the live stream right here with these two videos based off of what we saw. Literally. This is by and large the same trend that's happening inside the United States. You see, like I said before, the truth is women, even around the world, stick together far more than men do. And Goldman Sachs knows this. Okay? They know this. Read some comments really quickly before we go on. Read some comments. Dion King says, hope she could maintain. Absolutely. Lemonade says, that place looks like a war zone. Did you see my comment under the video? I was disgusted at their lifestyle and sheer poverty around them. Right. Yeah. I didn't see your comment, but I can imagine, Yeah. Truth is says, hey, honest truth, I'm a 19-year-old Black male, and I'd like to know your opinion on what businesses should Black men get into to build up the Black community. Well, the bigger thing is, that's a good question. The bigger thing is, what do you have exactly to offer? And I say that to say this. You're more likely to succeed at something that you're passionate in, right? And so find what you're passionate about, and then try and use that to offer to the community. If you're passionate about doing hair, then try and figure out a way to open up a salon. If you're passionate about sports, then try and figure out a way to start a sports personal training, development or developmental cycle, so you can start training young kids who are in bad areas to potentially get college scholarships and charge like a small weekly rate. There's no one business particularly that I could tell you to get into to be like, oh, that's what's going to help the Black community. There's nothing set in stone, but rather it's a lot of pieces of the puzzle that come together to eventually form the solved puzzle at the end of the line, right? And every person has their own position in that puzzle, right? You just have to figure out where your position is. And once you do that, you can move forward and start to worry about the other pieces of the puzzle collectively. But right now, I'd say just assess what you love to do, what you want to do, and how you could interpret that into being something beneficial for the people that you find surround yourself the most, right? Even if it's not necessarily inherently a business that's pushed towards Black people only, it could be a business that's pushed towards every race, just the opportunity that others will have that you are a business owner or business affiliated or whatever it might be is enough for the Black community to have benefits derived straight from that. All right. So that's what I would say. Thank you, Beijing, for letting me know you can hear. Sorry that video is a bit laggy, guys. I'm on my old laptop and I have a lot of tabs up. I want to show y'all really quickly as well. I know a second ago I showed you the title of the video this black man said. Goldman Sachs is further dividing us. Let me show you this. This is the ice cream place that we read about in that article from Inc.com. All right. What do you see here? What do you see in the background right here? That looks like a it might be a black woman, but I think that's a black male, right? With dreadlocks and a black woman here. All right, let's continue. Let's see what else we see here. Looks like a black woman washing the berries there. Looks like a black woman. Looks like a black woman. Looks like black people, particularly, and the ice cream looks great, being employed. Oh, maybe it is a black woman. I'm sorry. It's a black woman there. All right. How exactly is this divisive for the black community? In what world is this divisive for the black community? If you're just now joining the podcast, I want to welcome you. Huge shout out to you. In what world is this divisive for the black community? You know why this is divisive for most of the black men? Is because they didn't build Mixon's ice cream. Because they're jealous. Because they're not good enough. Because they don't have enough cohesive unity. Because they don't stick together. Because they prefer to, by and large, shoot dice, smoke to future. Nothing wrong with smoking if you like to smoke. It should be productive. And do absolutely nothing of inherent value to add to the black community. Unlike some of the men that we have on our channel. Right? But they're threatened by this. How? How, I don't know. How, I do not know. I'm going to show that right now. Oh, right. Oh, sorry. I forgot. I forget that I had the comment on. Mama Hueso says, I see no divisiveness at all. I don't either. Taylor B says, it's not divisive. Just black women do the thing as always. You know. God forbid the black women build the community up, right? God forbid. Goldman Sachs has looked at the trend of growing businesses for black women and sees a massive potential growth and profit for themselves. They've done a massive calculation and they realized that the black women can add over the course of 5 to 10 years, $1 trillion to the economy. This is what's been projected, $1 trillion. Okay. One doesn't just grow a company or bank to the size of Goldman Sachs without diligently and precisely moving accurately in business. Okay. They are literally betting billions, thousands of millions of dollars, not even betting. They're expecting a $10 billion investment to turn into a $1 trillion payoff. And it will. Now imagine this. Imagine your male counterpart celebrating in your destruction and demonizing your progress. Okay? Imagine after all the evidence that we show in these videos, a Negroid will still sit on his stump, rubbing his knuckles together and claiming that black women are being utilized as the main enemy to the black community. You see, the Manosphere only talks about the negatives of women. they never talk about the positives. I've never heard a single Manosphere and Black Manosphere channel say, "Hey, well, you know what? Yeah, they done this wrong and they did this and they did this wrong, but I like the way they do this." Never, not once. They only solely focus on the negatives, and then even when a positive thing happens to Black women, they turn and somehow demonize it into a negative thing. Haters. Having anger towards everyone reaching success. Haters, broken down. Having anger towards everyone reaching success. And then in turn, they wonder why they stay losing as Black men. Bismillah says, "Good evening, THT and everyone." Good evening. Everything is Black women's fault. I talked about the thanks, Obama. See if I can find one of the thanks, Obama memes. Let's see what we can find here. These thanks, Obama memes is pretty much how most of the Black men treat Black women. No matter what happens, it's 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 the Black woman's fault. I'll show you this really quickly what I'm talking about. Check this out. So this guy's just walking, trying to wash his car. He's carrying way too much, drops everything, but of course it's Obama's fault, right? Thanks, Obama. Let's see what other memes here. Slay's eating a taco. Everything falls off. The taco crumbles. Thanks, Obama. This is what Black men are saying towards black women. Oh, it's all your fault. But see, it's Black women's fault. Look at this. A little dog's crawling through a gate in a fence. It's Obama's fault. Thanks, Black woman. Thanks, Obama. This is what it's come down to. Laura Garrett says she can never win. Same with all races, but especially Black women. Oh, I'll open up. I know you want to hop onto the panel. Truth is, if you'd like to join the panel, I'm opening it up early today. I was told sometimes I wait too long to open up the panel, and so I'll open up the panel early before we continue. And if you want to hop on, you're more than willing to hop on, or you're more than welcome to hop on. Jose said, "True that." Organic Black says in 50 years, they're going to say in the 2020s, Black women sided with white supremacy against the Black men and took their money to open businesses to break up the Black family. Y'all are great. Arlo Dude says, in your opinion, what will it take for Black men to change? Well, it's a great question. What will it take? Oh, goodness. It's going to take a whole lot of time and a whole bunch more failure and a lot more progress and succession from Black women. You know, it's going to take Black women. It's going to take Black women needing to go through a lot of pain to realize that, you know, most Black males don't really have their back to the amount that they should. That's a long answer to that question, but it's going to take on that side a lot of pain for the Black woman, and on the male's side a lot of failure and acknowledgement of the failure, and a lot of willingness to accept, you know, failure. You know, it's going to take a lot of maturity from Black men, right? I don't know how quickly that can happen because most of them are so far on their high horse that they refuse to think that they're anything other than a deity or a demigod straight from the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ himself. It doesn't matter where most Black men stand financially, economically. It doesn't matter what they're doing in life at that particular moment. They seem to believe that simply because they were kings, that they are the seed of God. It doesn't matter. We're seeing that they're making $20,000 or $25,000 a year. A woman should still be submissive to him. It doesn't matter what they've done in their past, whether they be convicted felons and can't get a job now, or whether they have been multi millionaires in their past life and they still are today. They seem to all hold themselves to the same level, which is that no matter what, a woman needs to be completely subservient to them and their every whimsical desire. Uh, there's no compassion in most black men. There's no willingness to grow and get better in most black men, and so they're going to need to do a lot of soul searching. And I'm not sure if that can ever change, if I'm completely honest with you. The way things are going now, we're starting to see an upward tick of more black males refusing to change, refusing to acknowledge where they failed in life, refusing to acknowledge just how bad the community is at the hands of their or lack of leadership, right? And they're doubling down in that essentially right now. They're saying, well, you know what? It's not our fault because the community's messed up. It's the black woman's fault. They're doubling down on their hatred. They're doubling down on their evilness towards the community. They don't want to do better, right? They want you to accept them being failures for where they are. So, oh, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot. Beijik said, this is an opportunity for generational wealth. This opportunity must not be used wisely, or I think she must say it must be used wisely. Absolutely. It should. Keena says, if anything, by them not pulling their weight and doing their part in the community as men, they are the ones causing their divide. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the whole notion of black women taking the white man's money and that this is going to cause further divide, it's really laughable at best. But they don't think through their thought processes like most normal people do. Not just normal black people, but normal people in general. We've talked about the mental deficiencies and possibly the mental disturbances and or lack of completely stable mental control that most men in the manosphere do exhibit and have. When you start talking about quick to anger, when you start talking about always needing to be narcissistically right and to hurt other people to make yourself feel better and to make fun of black women because they choose to do this, do that, and do that. All of these little traits are signs of mental incapacitations, the sign of narcissism, sociopathy, psychopathy, even to some extent. And this is why they all find each other in the little spaces and they begin to throw such visceral hatred towards black women, is because mentally there's something wrong with a good amount of them. The problem comes into play is when the kids who start to normalize the mental deficiencies of cognitive, rebound or cognitive discussion as normal, right? They start to see that, okay, well, you know what? This is just the way it is, and these men are all balanced because this is all they start to see. That's when this entire thing becomes a problem, when we start to normalize that there is something severely wrong with a lot of black men in the black manosphere, with most black men in the black manosphere, with all of them, right? With all of them. Welcome, Alexander Brennan. Welcome, Jojo, to the panel. Alexander, I'll have you go after Jojo. Jojo, welcome to the panel. It's the first time I've seen you here. What did you have to ask or say? Jojo, I didn't hear you. I'm not sure if you said something. I heard a breath. Jojo dipped. Well, Jojo, thank you for gracing us with your presence. It was truly magnificent. Alexander Brennan, welcome back, Alexander. The floor is yours.
Hey, bro, what's going on?
Not much, Alexander. Not much. You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good, man. Good. How did you feel about this $10 billion investment that black women are getting ready to receive from Goldman Sachs?
I mean, what's the problem with it? I don't basically see no problem with Goldman Sachs giving black women who starting up business, $10 million. Shoot. Shoot. I mean, I mean.
Well, I'll tell you what the problem is, Alexander.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the problem. The problem is this. The problem is that, once again, black men are being held accountable for their lack of resources and financial equity or resources that they can provide for black businesses. So essentially what the white man is saying, the evil white man, right, is saying is that, hey, listen, we see potential here for progress and progressive growth. We're going to invest in this. And the black men are saying, well, They are investing in this. Why? Why are they investing in it? And the white man is saying, well, we're investing in this because we see progress for potential growth and we see that this could be something really great. And the black man is saying, the white man is trying to make us worse as a community. So it's like they're seeing the world from completely different kaleidoscopal colors and views, right? Um, they're providing a solution, essentially, one side, and then the other side is trying their hardest to fight against any surmountable solution, a surmisable solution possible at every extent of the law, right? And this is not just in this aspect as far as a large amount of wealth being handed to black women, but when we start talking about things like, okay, what's one of the other big problems that black men have? Let's just say police shootings or whatever it might be, right? Well, the problem is you think you're all getting shot by the police. The solution would be, in this case, to start forming organizations and to start grooming children and young males to become lawyers in the legal system, to start fighting on your behalf for sometimes pro bono cases and or cases where the black man doesn't have enough money to actually provide equitable or legitimate defense for himself in the courtroom. That's how you would solve the problem, right? Accurately. But they don't want to solve that problem accurately. Instead, they want to walk down the street and then just yell, scream, and burn down businesses all day. When that's just not how you solve problems, really, or that's not how you're going to solve that problem in particular. And so, just like everything else we see, as far as black men having a problem and issue, they don't want to solve the actual problem and issue. They want to just continue to point out the problem. And if they can't point out the problem because the problem has actually found a solution that wasn't at the hands of themselves, then they'll find a problem with the solution itself. And so that's why black men are upset right now for black women getting an insanely large amount investment. That's rightly due, in my opinion. That's rightly due. Bismillah says Zaddy sees the Manosphere rhetoric. That's why they want to help black women. Absolutely, black women, not black men. But yeah, and it's not just that. A lot of black men in the Manosphere say, "Well, they're just doing this because it's politically correct." No, there's been a 582 or 484% increase in black female-owned businesses from X amount of time to this amount of time. So all they're saying, and they're just crunching the numbers and saying, "Okay, you know what? Their businesses are shooting through the moon right now. Let's give them some money because our profits are going to go to the moon right now." Uh, Even if black men somehow were able to get those statistics and numbers formulated for themselves, they still wouldn't have the necessary monies to actually promote the amount of growth that black women owned businesses in the United States will experience within the next decade. They don't have the resources, right? And so this is still them having an issue with the problem, but it's with the solution, but it's only because the solution is still a part of their problem, which is not having the resources. You see, you're only upset at the solution when you can't actively be a part of the solution. What do I mean by that? If you're playing basketball in a pickup game and you're not a very good basketball player, and you keep losing the game because you're the worst player on the team, well, when they decide to kick you off the team and then bring a better player, you're no longer a part of the solution. So when they start winning in that basketball game or the future basketball games, you are not a part of that because you weren't good enough or ready enough to be able to handle the responsibility of being part of the solution. You just didn't make the cut. So you're going to be upset at the team, not for winning. You might be even happy that your team is winning, but you'll be upset because you're not on the team that's winning now because you are part of the problem, right? That's why they're so upset with this $10 billion investment. The white man is essentially saying, hey, black men, move out of the way. We got this right now. Keep doing your thing, though, and good luck with police interactions. That's exactly what they're saying. Black men are like, oh, man, these white men are getting ready to take over our communities now. Meanwhile, let me not let you forget this. They claim that white men have nothing good for black women to begin with. Okay, so Keena says if black men. Oh, 1 second, Alexander. My apologies. Keena says if black men don't want us to go to the government for help, they need to do their part. Where's your nation? Where's your government? Where are your resources? This is the thing that I've always said here, right? I've talked about this in the past, and Uppity Unicorn was talking about this. Let me drop her channel link again, and the stream that she's been having live right now. And she spoke about, and the women on her channel spoke about the need for black women to start going to black-owned nail salons and parlors and things of that nature. Now, obviously, I'm not spreading any type of Asian hate and things of that nature. We need to protect Asian people just as we protect every other race of people. Now, I'm saying this to say this though, right? Black men are upset at black women for going to nail salons owned by Asians or weave salons or whatever it might be. But instead of actually being a part of the solution, they're mad that they can't be a part of the solution. Going back to that basketball analogy or metaphor, right? In this case, if you're upset that your black woman is going to an Asian nail salon or an Asian hair owned business, why don't you have more black owned hair salons or nail salons, right? This answers exactly what Keena was saying. If you're upset that black women are taking money from the government, then why don't you have more financial resources to give to your own black women? Might I add also at the end of the day, okay? At the end of the day, it's the black manosphere that claims that black women should not have economic resources and provisions tied into them, right? They're the ones that specifically say, we're not going to help single mothers. We're not going to date single mothers. We don't want to be associated with single mothers. But then we read you the news article from Inc.com and how a single mother signed a $30,000 business loan right before she went into labor the very next day, and now hires black women and now hires multiple minorities to work inside of her black owned or biracially owned ice cream store. You see, so they're upset that they're not part of the solution once again, right? That's the only reason that they're upset. They're even at this point upset at the solution. They don't want to see black women do good. It enrages them to see a black woman doing better. This is why you can go and watch that Your Average at Best stream and watch a woman who's making six figures get eviscerated by Devin Scamuels, because he hates to see black women do better. He recognizes his audience hates to see black women do better. They don't want to see a single mom earning six figures that doesn't have to clock in at a 9 to 5 like all of them have to, because they don't have the businesses to not be able to make a living not clocking in at a 9 to 5. They don't have the cohesiveness or the unity to make a business to ensure that they don't have to go work for the white man for a 9 to 5 for their entire lives. They don't have any type of drive or unity as a black male community to ensure that their level of success can rise to that of black women and black women entrepreneurship in America. So instead of actually hating themselves, they decide to hate black women for doing better than them. You shouldn't take that white man's money. So you want her to sit and starve all day while you continue to eviscerate her for being a single mother, while you continue to admonish her for going into the relationship with too much baggage? You know why that mother ended up risking everything the day before she went to labor to sign that contract for her ice cream store? Is because she knew nobody had her back. She knew she was on her own. Her back was against the wall, and she made the choice as a biracial woman, as a mother of probably biracial black kids, if we're being honest with you, right? She knew that she had to make that choice to make sure that her future lineage, to make sure that her future community had something to walk into that she never had to walk into. But black men don't understand this.
Well, I certainly understand. To me, it's the black manosphere that don't understand the situation. You see, they claim they're high value men, but the only thing I see is they're getting surgeries done on their faces, like my bad, Devin Samuels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I seen his evolution. That dude was a freaking nerd before he entered the manosphere. A freaking nerd.
Right.
With
Well,
glasses.
Alexander, there's nothing wrong with being a nerd, but I hear what you're saying, Alexander. I hear what you're saying. I want to read a couple comments here. Shout out to the nerds. The nerds are good. We need the nerds. But I hear what you're saying. He might not have been as socially acceptable, right, before he decided to get all dressed and fancy. I appreciate that. I hear you, Alexander. I want to read a couple comments here. There's a couple comments that are. I know Alexander's roasting Kevin. I want to read a couple comments. Lisa Red says she sees a channel every day that's showing black single mothers that are business owners. Absolutely. Ariel says this, and I think this is a great comment. Black men want black women to need them, but they are not creating spaces, environments, and resources that will allow black women to need them. Right. This is the biggest problem that we have with this type of solution hate that we're facing right now in the black community. Alexander, I'm gonna take you down. I appreciate you being up here, Alexander. Be sure to come back in a little bit, okay? This is the biggest key to take away from this issue and this problem, right? You're upset at them because they finally found the solution once again, but the solution does not incorporate you as a whole. More importantly, it shames you as a whole. All right. Shout out to Truth Is. He says that he's currently employed at a black owned business. His uncle and father own a trucking and logging company. Go black business. Awesome. That's what we love to see. That's what we love to see. Carl Todat says we either address our differences or fall together. Nature and fate will carry on regardless. Yeah, the what we're starting to see, Carl, and I hear you, is that a lot of the men don't care to address, the true cause of their issues. They're just not mature enough to be able to acknowledge and hold themselves in that type of light. They just don't have it. Bajik says, Carl, we are united here. Bajik says, Carl, black men have left things too late as usual. Go into the panel and discuss in a mature convo with THT. Yeah, I'm trying to keep up with the comments here. I'm trying to do a better job of reading the comments. See what I could do. Carl, if you want to join the panel, please join the panel. To join the panel. Hello, Jojo. I'm going to add you right in a second. Jojo, welcome back. Welcome back.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you perfectly, Jojo. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Recently, the first time I kind of lost connection. So I wanted to tell you something that's happening because I'm from Africa. I think you can tell from my accent I'm African, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I
Yeah.
can't tell. I could just hear accent. It sounds like a beautiful accent. So
I'm from a country in East Africa. It's called Uganda.
okay.
And the thing about it that's happening that I see is going to happen with you guys. Okay, so I'm like in my early 20s. And when I was younger, like when I was growing up, I was seeing many Asians coming in and like buying up land and stuff and building, which is supposed to be what the men were supposed to be doing, right? The black men, you get. So they were coming in, and with the whole, you can't really buy land and stuff when you're not married, when you don't have citizenship. So in a way, they were forced to marry the Asians who are already here. Yeah. But then now, what's happening today is that the black women, have reached a point whereby they're like, you know what? We see as our men, you're not going to do your part of building your community and you've let other people come in. So right now, like the black women are really marrying Asian men at a very high rate, where the women are like, you know what? He is going to take care of my kids. Like I can get married to him. I know my kids are taken care of. My life is taken care of. Other than me going with a black man where I'm like, I do not know what to expect in the future. At least I know with them. First of all, I'm open up to the Asian world and whatnot, and my kids' future is kind of set. And I see that's what might happen in US, because that's what happened in my specific country, whereby right now the men are pissed, but the women are like, we gave you your time. You failed to live up to the mantle of manhood. They came and men and they did that and they are willing to marry us. So why would we go back to hustling instead of marrying somebody who is going to give me and my kids a good life?
Wow.
And yeah,
Yeah,
so that might happen with you guys.
yeah, well, you're right. It sounds like the divestment has already happened and it's started in Africa as well. Here, there's a term that we use, and I'll put you on mute really quickly. Unmute yourself when you're ready to speak. There's a term that we use. It's called divest, and it's pretty much waking up as a woman to realize that the men in your community truly don't want the best, nor do they care for the best outcome for you as a woman in your community and for the community as a whole. And so what we've seen in the US is that every advantage that's been given to us, to black males in the United States, has been squandered for the most part. that we've had more money given to us for scholarship, education. Black men are making more money now than ever. We're free. We're not slaves anymore. We have so many benefits that our ancestors would have given their heart and souls to be able to live and walk in America. But for some reason, the community is in a worse place now as far as unity than when our ancestors were roaming the cotton fields, right? This is just mind blowing. This is mind blowing. There's more toxicity in the black community now than there was in the 1600s, okay, the 1700s. So what black women in America are starting to see is that, well, you know what? Okay, the black men are not getting it done. I'm tired of being here. I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of being made fun of. I'm tired of being left as a single baby mother. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm just tired, right? I'm tired. Meanwhile, the black men are continuously making fun of, berating. I mean, they talk horrible about black women here. Black women talk horrible about black men talk horrible about black women here. It's really bad. I'm not sure if you've seen too many other of my live streams, but check them out and you can kind of see exactly what I mean. And so I'm not sure how entrenched in that problem Africa is, but here there's a large emotional abuse and actual physical abuse in a lot of situations between black men and black women. And black women are just throwing their hands up and saying, you know what? We're going to try and do it by ourselves, right? So now that black women are trying to do things by themselves and they actually are building their own businesses, the black men are upset because they claim that the black women aren't feminine anymore. They claim that the black women are masculine because they don't want to submit to the black male and their failure of leadership in the United States. So the black women are saying, and not all of them, there's still a lot of black women that are like, hey, you know what? If I find a great black man, good, I'm happy. A lot of black women still will go after a good, well-to-do black male, but there's not that many good, well-to-do black males. And so instead of trying to be better as black males in America, they're upset and they're getting mad at black women for choosing to date out interracially. Right? They call them bed wenches. When a black woman tries to wed or have a white boyfriend or an Asian boyfriend, they call them bed wenches, which is a slave terminology used to describe a black woman back in slavery who used to sleep, whether willfully or unwillfully, which makes no sense at all, with a white man who was her slave master, a bedwench. And so black men call black women who choose not to date their broke, ignorant black male excuses of whatever they might be. When they choose to date out and leave them alone, they call the black woman a bedwench, right? But meanwhile, if the black woman chooses to actually date the black male who isn't doing shit with his life, and she has a baby by him, then they tell her that she needed to choose better because she chose the wrong type of black male. When statistics show us that damn near 70% of black males don't even make $40,000 a year in the United States, right? So it's a situation I always say on this channel where black women are damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. And I'm surprised to hear this in Africa as well, but that lets me know that one of the commenters said that this is a black male problem. And I said this, listen, Jojo, this is going to be a sensitive topic, okay? But there's a reason why the black people were the slaves universally for the longest time. I know other races of people were slaves at some point or another, but black people specifically have been known to be slaves. There's a reason why the black male allowed his community to be conquered before every other race did. Go ahead, Jojo.
Funny thing is that I also find very interesting is that like the people in my dad's generation, the men are literally telling us also like the women, they're like, you know what? Screw the men. Marry someone who's going to take care of your kids. Because like in in African culture, it's more like the woman has done her job of carrying the child. You, the man, the kid is going to belong to your family. So whereby it's reached a point whereby the older men, like the ones who are supposed to be our fathers and uncles and grandfathers, they're literally telling us, you know what? Go and get the man who's going to take care of your family. Stop doing this thing of I'm going to marry my tribe or my race or my Get him to take care of you. Because if he doesn't take care of you, I don't want to be there taking care of you. I need to die when I know you're taking care of. And if you're the black man, I don't know how well he's going to be taken care of. At least when you're with that race, I can see he's working towards something for his kids. That's his main aim. And the funny thing is that, okay, I'm from East Africa. The funny thing is that we are kings and the king of my tribe. We are literally the ones who sold you guys to the white man.
Wow.
That's how critical the black race is. Like we literally studied in history where they're like, they sold if you're a poor, or if you're from a poor family, or if you're just unlucky and they grabbed you, they literally sold you for a mirror or a glass or something. Like, that's how hypocritical it was in the black race. And I don't know if you guys know about that, because we were told that from an early age, like, we sold you guys over to the white man, and we knew what was going to happen to you. But they sold you. Like, that's how
Wow.
hypocritical that is.
Yeah, that's deep. Well, you know, I did cover this in one live stream, you know, and kind of going back to that point I had, Jojo, was, yeah, it was black males, whether it be African or black males in general, however, whatever we want to say to describe, you know, who sold us into slavery. It was black males at the end of the day. Black is black in my eyes, no matter where you are, because apparently this is happening all around the world. The same problems we have with black men, and yes, at the end of the day, what I've surmised is that throughout the history of mankind, there is something of defect in the minds of most black, dark-skinned, whatever you want to say to describe African American, African, whatever, males. There's something that we lack or don't possess in the psyche of most of them. There's a lack of unity that we have. And I said this and I gave this example. This is deep what you're saying, Jojo, but there's a reason why the white people were able to build the ships to come travel all around the world first, right? Everybody at one point had sticks and stones. Why is it that the white males were able to build the entire world to fit for their perspective, and then the Asians came to follow after them, and then the Latinos after them, or whatever race or whatever order it is now, right? Everybody at one point had the same economic and material opportunities, but blacks ended up being dead last. And I say this to say this: since the beginning of time, there's been a problem with most black men. It's only now that we're starting to realize just how fully entrenched and deep our problems really are. Because these same problems that happened when we were sold into slavery in the beginning of mankind, when we weren't building ships and discovering new technologies, are showing themselves today. Except now, there's not an acknowledgement of those problems, but still it's being doubled down upon that it's not just a problem with us. It's not our problem. It's not our problem to fix, right? There's still 2,000 years later behind every race in the world, not just America, but in the world as far as development. And still they see it as not their problem and then get upset at their women for choosing to want to go with another race that's more developed than they are. And in your case, the ladies over in Uganda, you said, dating Asian men. I have no problem with my sisters, both literally and figuratively, my actual blood sisters, dating white boys, Asian men. Moreover, I encourage it as well, because why the hell would I want my sister to be laid up in bed with a Pookie who I know is going to leave her brokenhearted with a child to take care of? That would make no sense for me to want that. I would be more of a black hater as a black man to want my sister to date a black man only for the specific purpose and reasoning of him being a black man. That doesn't make any sense. What I should want is the best progress and the best chance for my sister and her children and her family to have to grow better in the United States socioeconomic system. That's what would make the most sense, irregardless of skin tone. I don't care if he's white, black, skin tone, chicken bone. I don't care, as long as he loves her and he's doing his job as a man. The truth is, most men who are of the black color or brown color, whatever color you want to classify me as, are not in this life to do better, but simply to complain about the position that they're in now with no viable solutions offered to the circumstances. That's it. That's the brutal, honest truth. That's the brutal, honest truth. Absolutely. I want the best man for the job. I don't care if he was an alien, for God's sakes. I literally would not care. That doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to lay awake at night thinking, man, I wish my sister didn't marry that white guy who has somewhat of a stable community environment and he already has a house that his parents passed down to him and this and that. What? Sis, you better go marry that white man. And that's what we talk about so much here on this channel, Jojo. So divest is the term that y'all are describing, that you're describing over in Africa, what y'all are doing there. And we're doing the same thing here. It's just that there's so much of a pushback from black men here that it's ridiculous. And black women all around the world have been loyal to black men. They've been loyal to the failures of black men for thousands of years, not hundreds, for thousands of years. I understand things were good at a point. I understand we probably ruled the world at a certain point. I understand we're the first civilization. I get all of that. Okay. But at this point, this moment in time, things are a bit different, right? And so I preach this on my channel all the time. I have no problem with divesting. Moreover, Jojo, the reason I'm even talking about this right now is because I was that failure of a black guy for years in my 20s. I didn't have a car to my name. I didn't have a driver's license. I was sleeping in my car for years, and I was upset when my girlfriend left me. I was upset because girls didn't want to date me. Dude, I was upset at girls did not wanting to date me, and I didn't even take a shower every day. That's how ignorant I was in my mindset before I finally had to wake up and say, wait a second, dude. You haven't even taken a shower in 2 days and you're upset because a girl doesn't want to talk to you, because a girl doesn't want to invite you to her apartment, right? That was my mind before I finally snapped and woke up. But until I heard black women telling the honest truth about men like myself, I was in that weird daze. The problem that I have now is that I can sit and tell black men about themselves 24/7. I can sit until the ancestors come back and tell black men about what they can do to make themselves better, and they'll fight me tooth and nail. And this is why I preach about divesting. This is why I preach to say, you know what? I don't know if there is any hope. I don't know if there's any hope. Don't even try in your lifetime, black women. Just do the best for yourself. Go find another race man. Stop listening to black men and their own insecurities telling you that another race of men doesn't want them. Just like JoJo once said, the Asians are dating Africans right now in Africa. They're dating African Americans in America. All races are getting together, guys. Moreover, if you're fit, if you look good, if you have a body, if you got a pretty smile, if you take care of yourself, if you smell kind of good, all these little basic things, a man's gonna have no problem with spending the rest of his life with you. Men are simple creatures. All right. They want to act like they're that complex. They're not that complex. They just want sex, and they just want you to almost fake submissiveness every once in a while. You don't even have to be submissive. You can run the relationship for the most part, and the man still will be okay with you because you're giving him sex. Men are extremely simple. It doesn't matter what race they are, right? So don't listen to that. Go find whatever makes you happy. Don't listen to any of the hate. Over here, they'll tell you that, oh, you're a single mother, you're damaged goods, you're this, you got too much baggage, or this or that. But those same men talking about you will have no problem unzipping your pants after the club or after the bar and lying with you and sleeping with you. They'll have no problem doing that. They'll have no problem paying a prostitute to have sex with her. They have no problem subscribing and giving millions of dollars to OnlyFans models. They're hypocritical. And so everything they say, it's in one ear, out the other ear with them. Because if you walk up and just flash them and open up your shirt, man, those men will be ready to go to Vegas that same night and put a ring on your finger. Hypocrites. Let's read some of these comments really quickly. Organic Black says, and food. Beijing says, black people going to Africa to live, good for them. But seriously, for black women, it will go against them. The black men have the power. Lisa Bray says, I don't see any men off. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. About the thing of that black men have the power, it's actually the Asians, because the Asians are the ones pumping money into the system. That is why, like, many black women are like, I'd rather marry an Asian. He's pumping money into the system. Because the moment the Asians cut us off, we're like in scrambles. So you're kind of married to the power when you marry an Asian here.
Absolutely. And the biggest thing about it is, JoJo, is that you should want a woman to go, like I said, for the best man possible. That's natural, right? The better men that a woman is able to get, the better their situations and economic provisions her children, her family can be raised under, the better community can be had in the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years. It's always advantageous for the woman to go after the best male possible to achieve the best results for a successful, thriving family in any economic system. The black men of the black manosphere and men in general in the manosphere are upset that women are choosing to go after the best man because most of them are failures. So just like in Africa, they're upset that y'all are going for the Asian men. Just like here, they're upset that the black women are starting to go for the Hispanics, the Asians, and the white men, or whatever it might be. There's no difference, and it's only because most of them are failures and they know they'll never amount to anything in their life. They have no drive, they have no career, no purpose, they have no anything other than hatred and resentment in their hearts. And nobody wants to be around a hateful, resentful person, right? But instead of once again trying to make themselves better, instead of trying to start a business or start something that they can give back to other communities, instead of being part of the solution, they're going to continue to wallow in their hatred, right? Meanwhile, black women are going to continue to thrive, leave them alone, and continue to do well. It's no different, and it's just mind-numbing that it's happening over there too. Let's read some of these comments really quickly. Taylor Beatty says, right. And the white men, including the one at Goldman Sachs, are in power over here. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's it. But the black men here, we're going to be the first ones to tell you, oh, no white man wants you. No white man wants you. But they're the ones in power, though. So regardless of whether or not you see statistically that they're marrying black women, there's nothing wrong with the black woman wanting to go after a white man because that's the man of authority. Women want men of authority. I said this before and I say this all the time. If you pull up in a BMW M Series, if you pull up in a 2020 Corvette Z06, if you pull up in a Porsche Panamera, you're going to have no problem attracting women because the power that you hold economically provides authority in an authoritative lifestyle in America. That is what a woman seeks and desires, as she rightfully should. It's the basic levels of human evolution. There's nothing wrong with a woman wanting a winner. The winners always had the most children. The winners always had the most resources and provisions. That's the way that economic systems go. Whether it be a totalitarian system, whether it be whatever system, the person at the top of the food chain had all the concubines. They said Genghis Khan slept with, I don't know, like 10 women a day. 1/3 of the population on Earth is like related to Genghis Khan or whatever it might be. Well, why is that so? Because he had all the power. Now, yes, I understand he was probably taking it unconsensually from women, but I'm making an allusion and a metaphor to say that the winners always win. All the million subscribers that are part of Kevin Samuels' channel, that's a million losers. Okay, the 150,000 subscribers part of Coach Greg Adams' channel, that's 150,000 losers. All right, they're all losers, and get upset because women want winners and don't want losers. But like we always said, if they did decide to go after the losers and they end up losing themselves as women, then they'll get made fun of by the losers too. Well, you shouldn't have dated a bum. You shouldn't have dated a bum. You should have gone after a better man. Right. Right. Lisa Ray says, I noticed it was years ago because those are the ones that were aggressive and angry towards me. I wasn't even rude to them, and they were very verbally abusive to me and some physical. Lemonade says, wow, unbelievable that's going on in Uganda, right? It's so true. That is so true. Lisa Ray says, because they are vain and arrogant like they still are today. That's why they sold their people for a mirror. Ariel says, funny thing is, black men that lived prior to Malcolm X and MLK said that it is black men's responsibility to liberate the black community. David Walker said this in 1829. Well, you know, the interesting thing, Ariel, is that they would call David Walker a simp nowadays. And I spoke about this as far as Malcolm X goes. Malcolm X said in one of the live streams that we had that the black community is only as strong as its women. And any community, for that sake, is only as strong as its women are. You say that to the black men of today, they will call you a simp. You can't you can't teach this, you know? I mean, you can't you can't teach this to them. They just don't I don't know. They just lack, once again, going to something just intrinsically wrong within the mind of black males. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if there's any hope. You know, I really don't. I don't know. Kina says they refuse to compete with white men and instead compete with black women. They'll lay up with the white woman before they go against them. I'm sorry, they'll lay up with white men before they go against them. They're scared and cowardly, so they focus their attention on black women's hair and dress size. Right. I've never understood this whole hate for weave. I've seen men make hour-long, 2-hour, 3-hour, 4-hour long talk about this for months on end, the fact that black women choose to wear wigs and weave. And of all the problems that we're facing in the world, they've chose to focus their talking points on the fact that black women choose to wear weaves and wigs. As if this really is hindering you so much in your day-to-day activity and lifestyles that you need to start dedicating portions of your life, large portions of your life to talk about this subject, this trivial subject. If you don't like a woman because she decides to wear a weave, that's fine. That's your own personal preference. when you start to make hours and hours upon days upon months upon years of conversational talking points and invest in severe amounts of emotions based off of what a woman chooses to place on her head, you have severe mental cognitive issues, right? But we know this, there's something wrong with a lot of the black men. Never once have I been so impassioned about weave that it keeps me up at night, that I just go on angry tangents talking about women because of weave and how upset I am because they choose to wear weave. It's it it's such a small issue in the grand scheme of things, but this is what they find issue with. Jedi Mike says Tommy's entire career. I and Jedi, we talked about the Tommy thing. The Tommy thing is interesting because Tommy is a self-professed hypocrite, right? He has two or three children himself with two or three women, but yet he's upset about black women for wearing weave. Meanwhile, I'm sure both of his baby mothers probably have weave. Keenan, we talked about this as well. Yeah, I've surmised this too. I think they are legitimately jealous of women. And in this case, it's not just about the black manosphere, because here's the thing: a lot of these guys are getting upset that who's that girl? Bad Baby made $1 million off of OnlyFans, and like, man, I can't believe she made $1 million off of OnlyFans. Like, how could she make $1 million off of this, and that? Like, women have life on easy mode. It's like, so the only thing I hear out of that is, okay, do you want to be a woman then? Are you upset that you're not a woman right now, living life on easy mode? Is so what are you gonna do now that she made her $1 million? What else is there to say? You're upset that she made $1 million. Now what? What are you gonna do now? You're gonna be upset for the rest of your life that women can do things that you can't do in life, right? Or are you just gonna go to the doctor's office and go ahead and complete that process? Because I don't want to hear you being upset anymore. That's not that doesn't keep me up at night. Okay, I don't know. Organic Black says, I think Roger Report wants to be a black woman. Roger Report hasn't been here in a while. I haven't watched him in a while, but that dude is just something else. Lemonade says, absolutely. Black women have been loyal to these dudes, selling their drugs, harboring drug dealers, counting drug money. Black women have been loyal to black men to their own detriment. Absolutely. I've even heard stories about black women taking the charge for the black man, right? Taking the gun charge for their dealer boyfriend, doing this, doing that. Going to jail for 6 months to a year for that gun charge. Taylor Beauty says it's ridiculous and quite feminine of black men to care so much. I never get that, man. Lisa Ray says, Nia, because they want to wear it. Beijing says, yet black men are wearing head and beard weaves. I've seen this actually. Let me see if I can pull up that video. I saw a video of a dude getting like a complete, like head wrap thing, like toupee and everything. And he got it edged up and it was really clean. And a woman did it, dude. It was clean. I was like, whoa. Like, that's crazy. Let me see. Let's see right here. I don't even know if I can find it right now. But like it was like, fake hair. She put it on him. She glued it to his head, faded him up really quick, really clean. I was like, dang, okay. I didn't even know that stuff existed. I saw that a couple years ago. But yeah, they do the same thing. They do the same thing. They look in the mirror and they're insecure about their baldness. Men even get hair transplants, right? Hair follicle transplants, where they get the little hair things off of the thigh and then they put them into your scalp. Men do that too. They act like this is just a woman thing. That's a great comment right there. Beijing says some of these barbershop makeovers, hair shaped to every inch of his life. Yeah, I've seen them, dude. That's crazy. They get their hairline sprayed on. I've seen that too. Oh, Jedi Mike says, Blacklight, where you at, bro? Waiting for you to hop on. I don't even think Blacklight's in the building anymore. I haven't seen him comment in a while. He said he was going to hop on. I tried to open up the panel earlier because I got a couple comments saying, you always take so long to open up the panel. I opened it up a little earlier. Blacklight, if you're still in here, you can join the panel. There you go. Post the link again. Huge shout out. We were going to do the candle giveaway today. Loren is in another stream on Uppity Unicorn's channel right now, so we're going to push back that giveaway to the next stream, I think. If you are a member of the channel, if you have contributed to the donation links, then you are automatically in the giveaway. I've already put your name inside of my pumpkin pot here, and we'll draw that next time we are here. Also, stay tuned for the next upcoming days. You're going to see the first new piece of content that we are dropping on this channel. It is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Let me grab some links really quickly and we will continue. We will continue. 1 second. 1 second. As you all know, we are supported by our viewers. If you would like to donate to the channel, feel free to do so either in the super chat or through the Cash App and PayPal links. So many people have donated, and I can't thank y'all enough. Loren's on Uppity Unicorn's channel right now. They're still doing a live stream, so I kind of conflicted with Unicorn's live stream. I feel bad about it, but I didn't know she was going live tonight. I didn't know. Thank you, Beijing. Get those likes up. Get those likes up. Lisa Ray said, "I'm tired. I'm done with black men." Absolutely. I think I kind of agree with you. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. What's going on, Jedi?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Not much. Not bad, boss man. You having a good evening?
I'm doing good, man. Yeah, sorry I didn't hop on earlier. I'm just doing some college stuff right now. Just getting for midnight and stuff. So I just finished it, so I just hopped on. But yeah.
Yeah, no problem, bro. You're good. You're good. No pressure at all, man. Glad to have you here. Yeah, so just kind of on the subject matter at hand, the bigger thing is that the problem that I have is that, it's the hatred is so misplaced at so many different various times, and this time is no different, right? Other communities are trying to uplift our community, and yet you still have members in our community, black men, that are trying to actively go against the life raft that's being thrown into the ocean for the black community. Black community is essentially drowning right now to some extent. People are trying to help, and the black men are sitting in the water while the sharks are starting to infest and surround them and death circle them and saying, no, don't get into that raft. That raft is going to only hurt us. And it's like, bro, I can't tell you how many times I've talked with, black men, and I've just had a conversation with them, and I try and switch it over to like something kind of semi-productive or like enlightening, or talk about politics or talk about this or that, and only for us to end up just talking about something that really doesn't matter at all. And that seems to be the norm most of the time. Very seldom will I have a conversation with another black man such as yourself and men on our channel that actually leads to something of progressive discussion, right? But at the same token, I'm the one that receives the most hate from black men for trying to progress the discussion and tell them that they need to do better. It's really disheartening, to a certain extent. I wonder whether or not there is any hope. The good black men that are out there are so alienated from the black community because most of the black men simply are not cut from the same cloth. I'm not sure what can really be done at this point other than to just keep telling black women that, hey, listen, keep doing bad by yourselves. Y'all are doing it. By all means, if you can find you a good brother along the way, go ahead, get that good brother, but don't hold your breath for him because he's definitely at this moment in time not holding your breath for you. So I don't know, Jedi Mike, do you have any black males that that are kind of in your realm or social group?
Yeah, there's a lack. I will say that. I will say that I have a handful of them. It's been friends since we were in middle school. Even though we're at a university right now, we're far away from home. Because even then, me and a few of my other friends, we kind of felt, I almost say alienated, but just almost felt like we're outcasts in terms of like our perspective and our mentality. In terms of like we weren't in this type of monolithic type of perspective in terms of no, most black men kind of just thought the same. Me and my friends, we didn't thought that way, so we kind of felt outcast. So we had that time in high school where we just kind of felt like, okay, we don't really belong here. Even like teachers, when we're in our school National Honor Society, listen, there's only 4 black males, including myself. 3 of them were my friends. And then, but there's like 7 other black women in there. I think there's 4 Asians, and then there's like maybe about 5 or 6 other white people.
Hmm.
But that's basically was it. But even then, majority was like 6 or 7 of them were black women, and there's only like 4 black males in a majority black high school.
Hmm.
And for me, it just like I just realized, well, okay, well, I mentioned before, it just terms of like when you're in this arena in terms of being standing and attacking challenges in our community and stuff, you're gonna probably have to stand there by yourself. But luckily for me, it's just that I just try to surround myself with like-minded people in my age. And my age right now, like I'm only about to be 23 years old. Even then, it's just like I don't want to say we're like doomed from the start, but I'm saying it starts when we're younger because just like we talk about, seeking attention instead of seeking retention, retaining what we retaining value, keeping value. Because one thing about spending money, then one thing about actually keeping it, so we have a passive income. My I keep going back into my parents, my mother specifically. When I was about 7 years old, she gave me $1 that she wrote down on a piece of pen, and it says "money get money." And the purpose of that dollar was I put it in my wallet and I never spend it. Right now, there was another guy, one of our family friends there. His father, gave him the same thing, but yet 2 weeks later he spent it on some like gum or whatever, and then it just went out the window. For me, I have that, for almost like 15 years, and it's still in my wallet to this day. And the
Hmm.
purpose of that was just thinking that in order to retain a keep value, I'm not going to put all my eggs in one basket. In fact, I've also go into scripture where it talks about being a patient spirit is better than a proud spirit, knowing that long-term investment in terms of things and hard work, but also not just hard work, but consistency. 'Cause that's the problem. You have some men out there, outliers out there. I talk about not as collective, but outliers there that are striving to make, financial strides in our community. But the problem is they're not being consistent. Black women are being consistent. That's why they're beating us, and or I won't say beating us. That's why they're exceeding us. Because I mean, to me, it's just like they're winning, we're winning. But I'm not trying to get that mentality as a versus, or anything like that. But
Right.
that's the thing is that we're thinking that we're not actually being consistent on terms of our mentality. Because just like what Denzel Washington said, hard work, you'll never start, but consistency, you'll never finish. And that's
Hmm.
problem. Like we start, we're in the finish line, we never go to, we're start from the starting line, we never start in the finish line. That's it. So and it's really sad to see, but I do think we have hope. But like I said, it's going to take a long time, but it's also going to take I don't say self accountability, but also just to a point where it's like, hey, there's no time to playing games anymore. It's like, are we being serious? Or are we just, saying, oh, hashtag this, and then then 6 months later, it's just out the window.
Absolutely. So true. So true. Jedi Mike, always well said. Beijik had a comment here, and we're kind of getting back to the weave situation, but it's something that we need to read. He says, not even the weave that's the problem. The truth is, black men just want to take the focus off of them and make black women unattractive to the world. That's so true. It's that extreme crabs in a barrel mentality. I don't know what black women did exactly to make black men so upset. Obviously, they didn't do anything to make black men in America this upset. But black males have made it their sole purpose, by and large, to put down black women at every turn on the street. Right. Um, Online, we're just seeing the representation of what's been harbored in the hearts of black men for generations now. Right. In the black communities, we've seen that the communities are in a horrible position, and part of that is because black males just don't care about black women in the community in general, right? um there's a joke that we always say, but when you get money, you move out of the hood, right?
Yeah, that's what
Well,
I, yeah.
this is disturbing, and the reason behind this is disturbing as well, but ultimately it's because uh, the black males have not just made it their sole purpose to hold down black women or to go against black women, but to also ensure that their area never has any type of community progression or progress whatsoever. And so most of the black males we're starting to see, and these same black males, might I add, are the same ones that are subscribing to Kevin Samuels telling black women that they need to get submissive to them, right? They're the same men who actively go against and fight against community progression, and males like ourselves who actually try and do something physically, mentally, and representationally, if that's even a word, to progress and show progression of the black community. Those same black males are against us, but at the same time don't want women to respect males like us. They'll call us a simp. They call me a panda bear for actually trying to do something of progress for the community. Meanwhile, they offer absolutely nothing. But then aside from that, moreover, hate the women that look like me, the women that match our skin tone. So the cognitive dissonance is like, it's like galaxies apart. It's so incredible just how far their mind has drifted from reality. Like, how if you want the community to do better, then you can't help hate the people that are trying to do better for the community. That doesn't make any sense. The Manosphere claims that they want the community to start doing better. They want the black people to do better, and they want this and they want that. But when they start doing better, they have a problem with the people that are doing better. For instance, Sierra goes with Russell Wilson. He's a simp. She's a Ben Winch, and she has baggage. I try and tell you to get your stuff together as a black man. I'm a panda bear. It's like, but you wanted the black community to do better, no? Why is it that you don't rejoice or put the nerds on a pedestal? Why is it that the nerds are made fun of or demonized? Isn't that technically being better in the black community? It's this hypocrisy that's always happening in the Manosphere. I don't understand it.
Well, I mean, you go into terms of I know Alexander make a comment about nerds, but yeah, man, I gotta say, like, no, it's like I'm in a relationship right now. Like, you'd be surprised, like some black women are into some nerds, and you want to be surprised. Some a lot of black girls in some anime and all that stuff and gaming and stuff. Like, you'd be surprised, but even then, going to that, one thing that my mother challenged me to do was that I'm currently I'm trying to work on. I've been doing that for the last 4 years because I'm currently double majoring in engineering and graphic design. But one thing is that I wanted to do, like, I know I got people telling me to start a channel and stuff, but I wanted to try to target people my age in this way because I feel like we're actually in this recruiting age because we're not grown men, but we're not children either. But yet a lot of us, we're in this kind of weird age where we're not children, but yet we have a childish mindset. Not childlike mindset, not childish, childlike mindset, meaning that we're not being basically being a sponge in terms of receiving information. We're also not being ignorant in terms of receiving wisdom from our elders, and also respect to the lady in the another panel, Miss JoJo. I've got to speak to you. I one thing that is just that we have lost honor. That basically we have lost honor in terms of in our community in terms of receiving wisdom. And I know I don't say I'm a rare anomaly because I have friends who are like this. I don't want to take credit for this because it's just like I'm saying this because I've been told this by other people who are ahead of me. And thing is, it's like but the problem is I don't see a lot of people doing this in a public fashion, or at least as black men are doing this because, they get called the nerd, get called the simp or whatever like that. And to me, it's just like, listen, I don't like, I've been called that since I've been in middle school, but it hasn't affected me. It's just been like, I don't know. Have you ever watched the show Game of Thrones?
Oh yeah, I love Game of Thrones, bro.
So if anyone watched Game of Thrones, if you look past the gore, the sex and violence, all that stuff, one thing that I respected that show is in terms of how they exemplify power. Was even in terms of people perceiving you like you didn't have power, but yet you were actually the smartest person in the room. For example, Tyrion Lannister in the first season, they didn't meet each other. Tyrion Lannister and Jon Snow. Tyrion Lannister is a dwarf and Jon Snow is a bastard. And, so he's talking about, listen, people ridicule me because I'm a dwarf and stuff. And then you're a bastard. Your own mother looks to frown upon you and everything like that. But honestly, you know who you are. You wear it like armor. And that's what I'm saying with black men is like, listen, why don't we wear, if we have all these things that I'm not going to keep blaming, saying, well, white men this and what black men leaving black women leaving us and stuff like that. It's just about the excuses. I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is wear my wear my honor, where I say what my family has passed down to me as like a bulletproof vest to move forward. And sometimes the only people that look like me are going to be shooting at me. But that's what I have to take in order to progress our people. And for men, I just feel like we have to, I know my name is Jedi Mike, but one thing that Yoda said is like, listen, you must unlearn what you have learned. We have been conditioned to basically be self-destructive in our own community to the point that we are not even bettering our wives, not bettering our children, and to the point that we are actually becoming a toxic factor, and we're being a liability instead of being the asset.
Absolutely. So true. Absolutely true. And then they double down on being liabilities as well and claim that that's the natural progression of things. Just so backwards. I want to read this comment from Lisa Ray really quickly. She says she always had a problem with black male supervisors. They do too much. You give them a little position and they overdo it. So we get into it. I had this problem as well. When I worked at the airport as a server in Chili's, I had a black manager. And believe it or not, he's the reason that I decided to start eventually pursuing a career on YouTube. At the time, I was doing music, and so I was trying to do music and make beats and stuff like that. But I had the realization very quickly, and I'm sure this happens in not just black male leadership positions, but it happened to me as well, where I thought I could be in a better position because my manager was a black male, ended up being the undoing for me. I was a good looking kid, muscular. I was great with the women. I had a great mouthpiece. I made a lot of money. I did very well. And that made him as a black male jealous. I was making more money as a server than he was as the restaurant manager, right? I made like between $70,000 and $80,000 a year in cash. And so he would see my tips, and every time it came down to tip out, he would just give me like a smug remark and just say some weird ass hateful type stuff, right? And I ended up just walking and having a great night. Well, eventually it ended up just becoming just too much, and I was like, you know what, dude, you can keep this. This can be your world. I thought that I was in a better position because I had black representation and managerial, status, but ended up being absolutely nothing for me. And so what I thought would be something to work out towards my benefit ended up being something that worked out in my detriment to a much larger factor, right? And that's another big question and comment that I wanted to kind of present from Lisa is that even when black males are in a position of authoritative power and figure, since they are in such a little amounts of power, the power that they do get, they're taking that to the furthest extent of the law. That wasn't the only job where I've seen that. When a black manager has been just completely power hungry, that was a male. I've had one other job where I had a pretty power hungry black manager that was a male. And but it's just because the fact that they don't ever get power. So the one time that they get a taste of it, it's like, oh, dude, they go crazy with it. They go crazy with it.
Yeah, power corrupts, absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's
And
like,
and let's be honest. If you want to talk about like severe corruption, this is something that our motherland, our mainland, happens to face in Africa quite a bit. There's a lot of corruption in Africa, a lot of corruption, right?
mhm.
At the hands of the black male leadership there. Africa has the most resources out of any continent in the world. The most resources, the most gold, the most natural gas, the most oil, the most diamonds. It's all in Africa. But somehow the levels of corruption have exceeded to any past any extent that they've been in any other race in the history of mankind. There's no reason why Africa shouldn't be on top of the economic systems worldwide. They shouldn't. There's no reason they shouldn't have the most money, the most education, the most technology, anything, because everything is derived from Africa to begin with. Most of the resources for the technology is derived from Africa. Most of the goods and gems and things like they're all in Africa. It's all in the soil. So when we
Exactly.
talk about
Especially like even certain resources like minerals like tantalum, which is basically like a mineral that's in, most in your cell phones.
mm,
That's what is the thing. It's like that's a valuable thing that's kind of been a lot of people don't really preach about, but also we don't really learn that in our own, in the school system or in our own communities, in our homes, talking about what actually value. We still have the mindset, the picture of us that we have bugs in our mouth in Africa instead of us being on thrones.
Yeah, and the biggest thing still is it comes down to the leadership. It comes down to the black males in Africa still choosing to place themselves before community for hundreds of years. Go ahead, Jojo.
About that thing of having resources, the reality is whenever we get because there's always people who are coming up and building the country like countrymen and all that. But the thing is, the fact that it has so much resources, the like you said, the max the that company that's giving the black women $10 billion, those kinds of companies, they always come and pump in money to people who are going to fight against. Because if you look at Tanzania, is a good study. Tanzania decided to cut off, just in the last 5 years, it decided to cut off money from outside countries. And the president, he just died recently, it's called Magufuli, was like, we're not getting any money from you guys. We're going to handle our own shit. And in 5 years, they have literally, they've moved like, they have improved like in a, what would have taken them in probably 100 years. And that's kind of, it's also kind of starting to happen in my country, because whereby my country, because people started doing this thing of where like, and you know how like the women pump a lot of money and all that, the women are like, we're not giving you our shit anymore. Like they told the men, and then they were kind of, where they've kind of forced the government into like restricting people from coming in and doing anything inside. Because like the women have reached, because like actually in African community society, the women is the way the women have the power, but they don't realize it, because the women decide to like screw you men. The men always kind of, community collapses in a dangerous way. So what's happening in my country, like we were seeing what was happening in Tanzania with the president saying like no more outside help, and they developed all of a sudden. So the women are like, you better man up right now and stop getting help from those outside countries. So whereby the government has really put in tough policies that it's making it much harder for foreign investors to come in. That's even increasing the whole thing of Asians trying to come in. And I think that's one issue whereby the black men in America have really failed to realize, if the women are saying, screw you, I'm done with you, the community is going to collapse. Because the reality is, community can survive with women, because women literally, a woman is one who, our bodies are literally the ones built to like bring in the next generation.
Right.
And that's something we realize is said, whereby if you're a man and you can't marry, you're literally, you can even be taken out from you can be what's that word called, whereby your family, you can be disowned by your family, just failure. But as a woman, you'll never fail to have a family.
Yep.
So
Yes,
and
ma'am.
that's another thing where I've realized in the US, the men have this thing of, because yes, we have our issues, but one thing that, I can tell you as an African, our parents will literally tell us like, before you bring back a black American man, get a white man. Because they'll be
Damn.
like, at least he knows the value of family. A black American
Yep.
Jeez.
man
Yep.
doesn't care about family. Because our problem is corruption, and the women are kind of very submissive, but it's changing. But right now, they'll literally tell you, before you bring back a black American man, you rather stay single. We'll bury you. You have a family. Where is he going to take you? What family does he have? What values does he have? Bring back a
Wow.
white man who at least we know he has values. That's how
Woo.
bad it is. Like, that's how, I think that's the thing with the Black
Ooh.
American community, whereby the men have really reached a point whereby they don't realize literally, literally there are spam banks. Now you realize, if all black men suddenly die, the black generation will go on, because literally the women will just go to spam banks and get pregnant, and a whole new generation of black men is born. While if all black women are gone, black race is done. Yeah,
That's
so
that's that's
that's
that's
it.
deep, Jojo. That's
Wow.
deep. I've never even heard that, before. I've heard, things alluding to that, a lot of Africans look at African American males specifically and just watch them squander the amount of opportunity that they have, and just do so horrible for themselves, given all the opportunities and circumstances that they have, that could lead to their success, right? But that just that summarizes it perfectly. Before you bring home a African American male, just bring home a white male, because you at least know that you have family oriented mindsets. That's deep. Jedi, go ahead.
No, ma'am. I was just saying, I just respect you so much. because yeah, my family, like, we're Nigerian, but I'm also part Guyanese as well. Like my mother is Nigerian. My dad, well, my dad is Nigerian. My mother is Ghanaian. But thing is like I've seen that even in college campuses. Like right here, I can speak on the whole trope about. I don't know if you were aware of this honest truth, but yeah, a lot of native Nigerian Ethiopians. Ghana is like all of them too. Is like it's kind of looked frowned upon on other African Americans because you can see the clear distinction, of terms of perspective. Like, for example, like even in like from you know how some people, I guess, in dating relationships, because most people try to find, their husbands or wives in this type, college area. But the problem is that we're not having that mentality, thinking, no, I'm just gonna go screw around. I'm gonna see how many girls I can get, or whatever it might be. But things in terms of the African American, what is different is that, when you seeing, Ethiopians, Nigerians, Ghana people, they're getting married or getting engaged before they're graduating, like their junior or senior year. Uh, the African American one, they're actually breaking up and going after the next girl and next girl, going multiple different people. So it's not, we're not seeing, we're prioritizing each other, prioritizing relationships, right? And even then, also, I just go into intellectuals' point of view. They're kicking African Americans' asses in terms of education, in terms of their, like, most of them, like I said, I'm in engineering. The most half of them are in engineering cybersecurity classes, and about 2/3 of them are women. So it's just like and if these, even though it's not being promoted, being expressed about that, there are, most of them are in these engineering cybersecurity classes. So and that's where the bulk of the money is. That's where you're going into in terms of having the sustainability of building these Fortune 500 companies, not just building, hey, I got some new shoe line here, or because was it Kanye? I know he just got, I was recognized just for, I think it was for Yeezys, I think. That he got, they're not like one of the richest shoes out there now. But like I mentioned this in the chat earlier, is that where is the foundation on terms of men, of like us being the engineering, the medical, the tech entrepreneurs, and the tech billionaires out there? To me, I can't, like, I kind of roll my eyes every time I see another billionaire who's a rapper. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking that we're just so much more than that. And I know that in terms of the men or the guys I surround myself with, is that, most of my other friend of mine, he's in cybersecurity, not cybersecurity. Well, one of them is in cybersecurity, but my closest friend, Josh, he's in criminology, and with a minor in forensic science, because of the stuff we talk about going on. I say, okay, well, listen, if I don't want to be part of the statistic, let me be part of the solution. Let me be in the system, so way I can actually make a change in terms of early on. And he's about to go get, eventually go get his master's too. But that's the thing, is that we're trying to see in the long-term game, because the thing is, the mentality is that we have I won't say this term is mental slavery, but the thing is that we're mentally in poverty as men. We're mentally in poverty in terms of, we have this perspective of getting this get rich quick scheme, or this fast money. But things will come with fast money, and quick money or anything like that comes with long-term poverty, long-term laziness, and long-term inconsistency in terms of actual sustainability and wealth and income. That's the thing, because like they just say, well, listen, I got this new CD out. I got this new other stuff. And I actually got this new insurance company I am to try to actually finance Black businesses. Or I have this new, I'm trying to be a dentist in a new city of Richmond or something like that, to way that people that can't get afford dental care. Something like that. Something as basic as that. We don't do that as much, because 2 summers ago, before COVID, I was volunteering at this program in Richmond, Virginia. I live in Virginia, by the way. But it was called Youth Life Foundation. Basically, we're working with inner city kids in Richmond area, right? Closer by DC, but yeah, it's more not basically disenfranchised area. And for me, I was mentoring these 5 of them, all Black boys, and none of them have their fathers. And I just sitting and talking to them, a lot of them, like it was getting hard trying to, mentor them, because a lot of them some of them weren't paying attention. Some of them actually had certain learning disabilities, because some were like a little bit had dyslexia. But even then, it just, like, I felt like after I left, one thing that at least I appreciated, that bond that I had with them, which is like, listen, I saw what they didn't see in themselves, is that, listen, there is a gem, it's like a diamond, you rough it up and stuff, like, you can you can, it can have some dirt and money, but once you polish up, then be shining bright, bright as the sun. And that's what I saw in these young boys. And I think is that the problem is that they didn't have that type of hope. That's the thing, we lack hope in terms of that. In these young boys is that, listen, if you actually prioritize your what you benefit in your community, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, having people be honest with you, and surround yourself with honest people, meaning that, hey, listen, what you're doing right now is not going to help you. You're basically going to a fire pit right now. You're going to a dead end. I know I'm your friend, I'm loving you, that's why I'm telling you. I'm not going to give you this false hope because I don't want to hurt your feelings. To me, like, we have to stop doing that, saying like, listen, let's be honest with each other as men, instead of saying, sorry dude, I can't help you out, we're a lone wolf, man, but hey, I see you on the end, right? And like, nah, it's like, no dude, if I'm not gonna leave unless you're coming with me. We have that. The mentality is like, I'm not going to to prestige university, like that's all my friends, we went to the same university, we graduated with honors and stuff. I'm like, listen, I'm not going to be by here by myself. I need you, and they needed me, and then they bettered me, I bettered them. And then it's like, we hold each other accountable as young men, and now we're getting now growing up, getting older, and I hopefully try to do the same, eventually, like if I want in terms of teaching, giving a young black male some wisdom. But that's as best as I can do. But that's my problem is that we have to prioritize our young boys. I keep going at again and again and again. But I'm saying once we have that weak foundation, then it's like, then after that, when you start to build up in terms of having the pillars of actually building these boys up and actually having the patience. And because they all people just, that's also another thing too, just like they don't want to put the time in. It's just like, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and the next day I'm successful. No, this is patience. I'm saying, and this is the Bible talking about patient spirit is better than a proud spirit. A lot of us, we're too proud to receive help from each other. And that's what I'm saying we have to stop doing, instead of having this ego and actually have this heart of saying, listen, our community is failing and it's on the backbones of us, and I cannot waste another day being inconsistent, being lazy.
Absolutely, Jedi. Absolutely, man. Perfectly said. Those are the words of a true man. To bear the brunt of the responsibility of the community that he decides to name himself the leader of. Right. Whether the ship goes down, whether the ship makes it to the destination, as a captain or self-professed, captain of that ship, you are responsible for whatever happens. And in that case, like you said, it's going to be up to the leaders of the community, or lack thereof, in many cases, to finally start to acknowledge that they need to change their leadership roles, positions, and methods of leading. And until that happens, things are going to continue to be interesting for our community. So well said, so well spoken, and really great words, like always, Jedi. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually going to start wrapping it up here. You'll have to forgive me. I have a few more things that I'll have to attend to. I would love to keep the live chat room open for y'all, because I know you're having great conversations. So I really need to get this Discord made so you guys can continue talking with each other. I appreciate you all so much. I'm going to upload a video tomorrow, the newest video in the new series that I'm starting. You're really going to enjoy it. It's unlike anything that you've seen. Just for a hint, cinematic hint, it's going to be shot in black and white, right? It's really nice. You're really going to like this. It's just going to be me having some real talk. So stay on the lookout for that. It's going to be premiering tomorrow, so you will get an email notification from the channel saying that a new premiere is happening. Make sure you turn your notification bells on so you do get that notification for the premiere. I'll try and make it around 20 minutes long, and you'll be able to have live chat discussions in that premiere as well. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal, and you're really going to love the creative energy of this one. It's very artistic feeling, very movie-like, and it's just really, really cool. Magnificent One says, "Can I get a hint on what it's about?" It's more going to be like not particularly one subject of what it's about, but a discussion that I'm having. But I'm just having the discussion with myself, right? I know it sounds weird. It sounds like, are you going to be talking to yourself? Not exactly, but you'll see. You'll see. Magnificent One. It's going to be really nice. So I can't thank you all enough for joining me on this episode. Next live stream, we'll be sure to do the giveaway. Don't miss it. Next live stream is going to be another fire live stream. I've already started it. A lot of good things coming for this channel. A lot of good content. Stick with me. I appreciate you all who have stuck with me so far. Huge thank you to all contributors. Huge shout out to everybody in the chat. Truth is, Lisa Ray, Nia X, Caramel Baby, Laura Guerra, Organic Black, Magnificent One, Yvette, Alexander, Sid, Lemonade, Lola B, Taylor Beauty. I'm not even sure. There's everybody else who's not actually actively chatting right now. Huge shout out to our panel members, JoJo. Stay safe. I really appreciate you being on. It was an honor having you on, and hopefully we'll be able to do this again soon. You're always welcome on this panel. Okay, I really do appreciate you. I'm gonna go ahead and take you down for now, and hopefully we'll see you again soon, JoJo. Jedi Mike, I always love having you on. It's always an honor, and I can't thank you enough, man. You're always welcome on the panel. I can't wait until the next time. And until then, stay safe, bro. But I really always appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I'm gonna probably email you later, because like, yeah, I'm basically listening to everyone and like getting tired of them yelling at me like make a channel, make a channel. You know, I just need to get some technical things in order. But I probably just email you about some stuff. But or contact you in the back end. But yeah, dude, the honor is mine. This is a great positive community, and the thing is, I don't want this video or at least this content or less talking like. I feel like in terms of our dialect and our discussions that we're having both to each other as men, I feel as black men should not leave this conversation being depressed or leaving like there's no hope. And I feel like because like they're seeing you consistently being hardworking and making your channel, speaking the truth out there, even as you're being attacked consistently or having not being promoted and saying calling you certain names and stuff like that. But I'm telling you that I'm cheering you on, is that you have me as an ally, you have me as a brother. But yeah, man, I'm just gonna contact you later eventually, man. And but yeah, man, the honor is mine, man.
Thank you so much, Jedi. I appreciate that, brother. I'll talk soon. And once again, thank you, man. Love having Jedi Mike here. Ladies and gents, that's going to be it for tonight's episode. Like I said, stay tuned tomorrow. New premiere coming out, new episodes coming out, new series coming out. 2 new series particularly, but the first one's premiering tomorrow. Stay tuned. Make sure your notification bells are on. Until the next live stream, be safe. Watch your back. Love your loved ones and live life. You only get one, guys. Just be safe about it, but have fun. It's always an honor. I can't wait to see you all again. I love you. Talk soon.